It's Ren Roberts and Serena Curran here.
Again, so happy to be here with you, Ren.
Yay, we're about to go live on Facebook. Let me, oh, as I re-click the button, it looks like it wiped out. Hold on, I have to retype. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm about to hit the live button.
I don't want my hand to disappear.
Hello,
Good
hello. It looks
morning.
like we are going live on Facebook. Ren Roberts here, and I've got Serena Curran in the house, and she's also an FFJ member of ours, amazing colleague, and we had the privilege of meeting in person this past year too. So I am so
Absolutely.
grateful to get to call her here, and I've got Serena Curran in the house, and she's also we've got a double echo. Hello
Thank you
there.
for the double welcome. I have always wanted one of those.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you. You are a magnificent healer and wealth amplifier. And I love how you take a stand for people to have more freedom and more money. Those are two things that we love to help people with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's available. It's just a matter of learning, unlearning and learning some things.
That is true. Oh my gosh. Well, you all are going to have a fantastic opportunity as we dive into our interview today. And also to let you know that there's some amazing upcoming live opportunities to connect with Serena. So she'll drop these links below these videos and connect with her. Also, if you're seeing this further in the future and it might be past this live event she's talking about, there's always other upcoming ones. So make sure you get in her world and see what is coming up. So, Serena, there's so many things we could talk about. I'm just curious, how did you settle on the wealth and freedom amplification? Like, why is that your niche and calling in the world to help people with?
Well, as when I work with my clients, one of the things I do, first of all, I work with the Akashic Records. So I absolutely have looked at know my own soul gifts and what they are, what I'm here to bring to the world, and in terms of communication. And I'm a manifester, and I'm here to help with manifestation. But I also, when I'm working with clients privately, look at astrology and look at so I look at their human design as well. But in astrology, I am a Taurus in the 12th house, which means I am here to help people create more money and to actually be the bridge between the things that are on the spiritual or etheric level, the visions that we have, and bring them down into the physical reality. So that's a good Taurus, grounding into the earth, and 12th house being inner connection with soul. So that's so I'm designed to do this. How's that?
That is fantastic. And I think that's part of what you bring out with people is like when you know your soul design and then you lean into that or, go towards that direction instead of putting yourself in an opposite career or thing of helping people and it's something that is not resonating. It just helps everything get into more alignment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I tend to describe it as there is a flow of source energy that comes down through the center of your being. And when you're in alignment, with your soul, when you're in alignment with source, you're inside that flow. But when you're not, you're outside of it. Now you're always manifesting. It's just so much easier to manifest when you're inside the flow. And so certainly when I do the soul wealth map for people, I look at their soul powers and explain to them actually how to use them specifically in business, although it is the same as you would use in a relationship or in any other aspect of your life. So it's just completely life changing. And then I look and see what's interfering. And on the soul level, let me just speak a little bit about that. Is that let's just make some things up here to make it easier for us to understand. We can call what this physical dimension the third dimension, and we can call the mental level the fourth dimension, and the emotions are in between the third and fourth. And then the fifth dimension is where the soul is. Now, this is nothing set in stone. There's many ways of looking at this, but this is just a way for us to understand. And so when I work with the Akashic records, which is the records of your soul, those are on the fifth dimension. And so this is this spiritual energy, and it filters down into the mental and emotional bodies, creating healing. You can use the Akashic records for healing as well as for finding out information. There's so many uses that it's beyond belief because everything's in there. And so it filters down and it makes corrections on the mental emotional level. You can make changes and healing on the mental emotional level. It does not filter up to those soul patterns. So it's a really powerful way of making changes. And in fact, when you get your soul clearing, it puts your life on a new trajectory. So it's a really powerful way of manifesting and having things be easy for you. And that's certainly what I'm all about.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Well, I love free and like freedom, like that flowing. And it sounds like that's where you really get people in alignment. And I know, hopefully it's fine to say you've said privately, like a lot of your clients are actually celebrities and people who are doing very well in their field. So it's like they come to you and it's like this wonderful are more please, and so it's like they're doing well, they might be kind of in that realm, and then it's about unlocking, and when we get in alignment, it sounds like it's like a supercharged elevator.
Yeah, it is, and it is that tweaking of your alignment that creates a whole new opening for leaping to another level, if you want to look at it that way. And so, yes, I've had clients at all kinds of levels and very well-known clients that are big manifestors and doing well. So, I work with 5, 6, 7, even an 8-figure business owners with helping them with their businesses. But today, I want to talk a little bit more about an upcoming event that I have, which is the Missing Links. 3 simple practices, 3 vital practices. They are simple also, practices for receiving more money with ease. And of course, not only would this allow you to receive more money, but it also opens up time freedom and all of the other more beautiful relationships. But we're going to focus on money in this particular free masterclass. And, one of the things I'm here to do is to simplify things and make it easier for people and give them practical ways, tools to be able to navigate their own way forward. I'm all about empowering people. If I kind of hesitate with that word because they're actually empowering themselves, but providing them with the practices that allow them to evolve themselves and to grow bigger without anybody else participating, and also teaching them how to go in their own Akashic records. Of course, we won't do that in the master class, but in the master class, we'll look at 3 different areas that where I will give you some practices that you can use right away that will help you with creating more money in your life.
Yay. And who wants more money? Papa, yes. Want more
well,
money.
It isn't really that we want more money in a way. What we want is all the experiences that money will provide for us. We want the freedom that money will provide for us. We want the joy that it allows us to have because it allows us to participate in experiences that bring us joy. It's really those things, and we want the impact. And most, I work with change makers and visionaries and seekers and those heart-centered entrepreneurs, and their hearts are always wanting to create more change in the world and help create this new world. So of course, it's really about having greater impact. And the more impact you have, the more money you have, the more money you have, the more impact you can have. So it's a little circle that gets going.
And do you find that people who are not attuned with like their soul purpose, is it that they're not able to get what they want? Or like, do you find a lot of people, it's like a course correction that they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that direction? Or is it like, and more like confirming that you're on the right path? I'm just curious, like where do
it can be, it's all of it can be all of those things. It can be that people are off track. First of all, let's just say you're always manifesting. So It's just a matter of how easy is it or how hard is it,
And a lot
depending
of
on
our
your
people
alignment.
manifest what they don't want. And
Well, if you focus on what you don't want, that's what you're going to bring into your life.
yep.
That there is that, what are you going to pay attention to? We have, this is a free will zone. We get to choose. And as far as purpose goes, in my understanding of purpose is that we come here with this beautiful soul. This is our vehicle for our soul. And this body allows us to be able to express our soul. And so our purpose really is to express our soul. That's what it's here for. It wants to be expressed. And while we have these soul gifts or soul powers that we are here to express, we can use them in whatever way we want to use them. We can use them for whatever cause that we want to use them for. I don't ascribe to this idea that we come here with a purpose and we go looking like a needle in a haystack trying to find out what it is. That just doesn't make sense to me. A soul comes here knowing full well what it wants to, what needs to be expressed. And it's about learning to tune to that and align to it so that you can use it in your business and in your life to create the things that you'd like to have in your life, the desires you have.
Well, thank you for being such a radiant leader and, like a clarity It seems like that's where you really give the clarity to people in the direction. And that's what it sounds like really
Yeah.
unlocks that money potential to them when they have the clarity and being on purpose. Mm.
Yes, and also the big piece of it when I do the readings and the records for people is that there are your soul has traveled, and as it has traveled, there's been things that have happened that were not in the highest good, and so that they might have created patterns or all kinds of things, but they can interfere with the expression of that soul. And one of the most powerful things is removing those from in the Akashic records. And when you do that, then the soul is brighter and more able to be expressed and with greater ease. And so there is a huge opportunity that gets opened when that happens. But again, we're in this little master class that I'm doing. We're going to really be focusing on practices that you can use right away in your life to open up to set the foundations. There's certain foundations, and that's something I also teach in my my programs, my group programs, is that what we really need to do is set a particular foundation for your business. That's an energetic foundation, and there are a few aspects of that. One thing I'll guess I'll deviate a little bit here, and just one of my pet peeves is people always talking about self-sabotage, and I really don't ascribe to that. I think that when we say that, we're actually saying, we're actually being unkind to ourselves. We're saying we did something wrong, and it can cause shame and upset. And what it really is it's our body telling us that we need to stop here because we're not safe. And we're getting a signal that something needs to be addressed. And so it's actually an opportunity to address something so that we can go to the next level. And so I don't call this a self-sabotage at all. I call this self-care. And your being is letting you know where you need some care. That's an
I
aside.
love that view. And it's like also the way that people look at illness is like, it's like an alert. Hey, there's something that can be attended to, that can be fixed. And it's the self-care instead of like, oh, I'm not feeling well, push the body even harder.
Oh,
It's
no, no,
like
no,
a
no,
simple, hi body, what's going on? Let's attune.
no.
It seems like it's almost the same way that you do this in the soul level, that it's like that cleansing alert, being in tuned, and then keep on the right aligned path for your own.
Yeah. What I think one of the little things I have a little PDF or something I did at one time about peaceful productivity or something along that line. And one of the things that I talk about in there is that it has been shown by neuroscience that if you take a break and do nothing for a while, you will actually be more productive. And that's science. That's not something I made up. So you just sit for 10 minutes and just look around. Don't do anything. Just sit. And that will restore your being so that you can be more productive. And so this idea of pushing through or working for hours on end without breaking is just not supportive of your success even, or
Yeah.
of your being. Yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean it might be the right aligned or sustainable thing, or even
No.
like, hey, I want to create this magnificent, and we think that we have to push really hard to get there. Though I've done that, and then you arrive there and are like, oh, well, it's not exactly what I had in mind.
No, well, having being also, I'm a manifesting generator, which means I have energy. I can do a lot of things. So, and I can move very fast, and my soul, I'm on the soul level. One of my energies is freedom, and it's as a manifester, so I can create very quickly. And so I certainly have had points in my life where I worked really hard and pushed and did things, and I can't say that it was productive. I can say that it was I produced a lot. Maybe I produced a lot, but whether it was um, the best work I could have produced, I'm not so sure, because it was a push instead of the taking the time. It's that masculine and feminine playing together, the feminine receiving, the masculine taking action. So there's a dance that goes on. And if you always push, then you're not doing the dance, and you're not getting the guidance that is available to you to be able to take the easiest and the simplest path.
That
Which
is
is
so true. A mentor that we have in common like shares about how it's like the humanity flapping like a bird. And so you have a masculine wing and a feminine wing. And when they're in balance, that's how we fly and soar. Otherwise, you're just going around in circles with one wing like that.
That's another metaphor for it. Sure. That's for sure.
Yep.
I like the dancing.
Yeah. So the club feels on that. So, and I think that's a huge part. And what I love to talk to is about the inspired action. And that's where I teach, like in technology, like I can teach you the tech how to do it. Though, if your mindset and your energy is not aligned, or in your soul purpose way, if that's not really the outcome that's the highest and best, it's going to feel a lot more like drudgery versus the other person can do the exact same actions. And if it's aligned in them, they're going to have the ease, the flow, and the bigger results out of the exact same action.
Yeah, I tend to frame it up a little differently. I don't think mindset is a little bit overrated. I think it's really the energetics. And so it's, for example, you can decide, you can nurture a particular energetic for yourself. You can set the intention that you're going to do things with a certain energy. It's very important. No matter what you're doing, whatever the energy of it is going to affect the outcome. End of story. So that's a very important part of doing anything, any kind of manifesting, is what is the energy I'm bringing to the actions I'm taking.
Yep.
And what energy am I, so setting your intentions before you write an email. What's the intention? What's the energetics that I would like in this email? Or what's the energetics I would like in this video that we're doing? We like to have fun. So that's in here for sure.
Yes, fun, freedom. Let's see. Well, I want to say finance. I was looking for an F word, a good F word. So yeah, like
that F word. It's a good F word. It releases energy. Like lets that anchor go. Just like that. Boom.
So there we go. Well, it is amazing to be in Serena's world. I highly recommend it. She'll have links to everything she has coming up. And like, this is a lady who's so full of wisdom. You just want to be in her world and rub off on it a bit. And then you have amazing classes that they can learn from. And I believe also if they just want a reading with you, they could do that as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I've got a beautiful program that helps them to. And I have amazing results from this program for people. So yes, I do have that. And I have this upcoming free masterclass, and I have weekly channelings from the Akashic Records for people. And I've got a new program coming out very shortly.
So make sure you get in Serena's world if all this resonates with you. And the resonating is what leads us to amazing results, because that's about the energy that you're putting out there. So I'm excited with the energy we've put out there.
Thank you so much, Ren. Always so much fun to be with you.
You too. And if you watch this long and you know somebody that this would be helpful to share with, please, you can send them a link to the video, tag them on it. It's amazing information to share and get it out, because as together we bring and amplify more freedom and wealth to the world, it makes our world a much kinder and prosperous place.
Yes. Yes. So dear to my heart, to help those change makers and seekers to really bring their gifts powerfully into the world, because we need every single person on board to help us create our new world.
Yes, we do.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you in the FFJ group, and we'll drop the links around so everyone can get in. And make sure you get in Serena's upcoming classes, and you can always be connecting with her anywhere on the internet.
I'm on LinkedIn there too. So,
Yeah, and YouTube. You have a great YouTube channel as well.
yeah. Thank you, Ren.
Awesome. Bye, friend.
Bye-bye, everybody.